Hey everyone, it's Salman Qureshi. You're listening to the Expat Brat podcast. How are you guys doing? I hope you're having a great day and you work someplace where people care about mental health, and so they've given you a day off because you just needed it, and everybody said, hey, you look like you're a little burnt out. How about you take not just the weekend off but the whole week off, and you've got an extended holiday that doesn't cut into your annual holiday days, and your boss says you're doing a great job, I just want you to take care of yourself, and you go home and your spouse says, listen honey, listen, you've been doing so much, I want you to rest, put your legs up and just kick back, and here's something to drink while you watch your favorite television, and you just get to relax. I hope that's the kind of week you're having, because I'm having a good week. I usually don't take such a big break between two episodes, but it has been a bit hectic, not gonna lie. My kid, my 4-year-old boy, he's going to nursery and I'm so emotional about it. My kid's going to school. I didn't think it would happen, but it's happening. Well, not in the sense like it wouldn't happen. I just thought I'd skip nursery at one point. And then again, for those of you who know from my podcast, with his autism and stuff, I just thought maybe it won't happen, but it happened. And last week on Tuesday was his first day, and I was petrified, man. I was paranoid. I was worried that he's going to miss us, and he's going to be super upset about it. Instead, he had a great time. My wife and I, we just sat there the whole time going, because his nanny was in the nursery with him, and we kept checking in with her and the school that, hey, is he okay? Does he want to leave early on the first day? It's cool. We're right here, whenever he wants. And we actually then went and sat at a coffee shop next to the nursery, just assuming that he might, just because we were paranoid about it. And it was nice. He just came out super happy, had a great time in there, and he's been a couple of times since, and he's just enjoyed it. He's been really playful with the kids, apparently, and playing with it's just great. As a new parent, my work here is done. I've sorted him out, man. So I'm feeling good. You don't understand how good it feels as a parent until you have a kid and stuff. Yeah, I'm pulling that card. What it feels like to have a kid have his own routine, and you get your life back a little bit. So you're kind of like in this position where everything revolves around the kid, and it always will once you're a parent, I suppose. But there's like this little sliver of hope, this little bit of like, hey, I don't have to be with the kiddo 24/7. I don't have to like wake up at odd hours. He is starting to kind of do his own life a little bit, and that just makes you feel great. And also, I'm proud of his achievements. Obviously, that's a real reason. I should have said that first. Putting it out there now, okay? In case he ever listens to these podcasts, I love you, kiddo. Anyway, that's not. This is the kind of week I'm having. It's been great. I haven't done shows in this week, but I've been writing, and it's crazy. And I'm going to hit a few open mics, and I'll let you know how that goes. But more importantly, I was on Twitter, and I think I'm a feminist, all right? I don't want to get into the what kind and is it a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like mostly I sympathize with women's issues or something. What is it? I like the idea of everyone being equal, and because it's something I struggle with growing up as well, and so I really feel for anyone who's kind of marginalized. My heart goes out to that. I kind of support the underdog all the time, maybe because I've had to face those things. So it makes it hard when I see. I think this one's a hard one, right? What I'm going to talk to you guys about is the whole, are men the only one who cheat, or the whole slagging off on men as the cause of all divorces everywhere in the world. All right. Like men are at fault all the time. I know women will get their back up a little bit. And I honestly, I even hate talking about it, because I think we're at a place where we kind of are at an extreme where we should really, really give all doubt to women for a little bit, just to fix this issue. I know men get like, well, he got canceled and that guy got canceled, but at the same time, it's recent history, and overall, when you compare our records, it's quite different, right? It's moving beyond looking at who won the last Boston and Lakers final. I don't know when that was, versus their whole history. And I think the Celtics are up by a championship. I gotta look that up. I can't remember now. But it might seem like the Lakers might. No, you know what? The Celtics have a better chance right now to get ahead, even if they're tied or something. I can't remember. But I wanted to specifically talk about this thing. So the thing I read on Twitter was a couple of people just going on about, man, just like about how it's always the men who cheat. And I thought about it and I said, you know what? A lot of times, and in certain places, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's true. Maybe in more conservative societies where women don't go out, maybe in a place like Pakistan where women don't freely move about like the men do, men have more opportunity. Who knows? Who knows? But I turned to a trusty source, Google. And I looked up some facts, all right? I want to know, what's the stats on this stuff, all right? Who cheats more, men or women, okay? And turns out, firstly, I'll admit, men do cheat more than women, statistically speaking as well. This is based on some research done in the U.S. And I think that's a good place to start, because more than most places, I guess the U.S. is a good, I don't know, they do all this kind of research. I love it. It's just funny to me, right? They always like have these funny researches going on, and they have the time and money to do it. So I think, I think it's great. I think it's great. Where would my podcast be without the U.S. scientists spending their time on researches as crazy as this? Okay, who cheats more? All right. So here's what I found. There's not a I didn't find like a lot of reports on this, but the one I said, okay, men do cheat more. All right. So that's not the surprise. But here's the cool stats on this stuff. Whoever did this, they broke it down, right? They broke it down into age categories. Turns out, overall, 20% of men cheat versus 13% of women. Overall, right? I don't think that's a 7% difference. That, if you think about it, that's not that big a difference. If you break it down, that means 20% is like 2 out of 10 men cheat. That's not a huge chunk. And for people to go, all men cheat, right? I think that kind of kills that argument right up front. Okay? And then the fact that 13% of women cheat translates to me as 1.3, a third of someone. Is it 1/3? Yeah. 1 out of 10, if I round it down, 1 out of 10 women cheat. All right. So maybe the men's figures are technically double, but in the grand scheme of things, hey, it's a couple of people cheating out of everybody. All right. So I think those of us who are paranoid about their partners cheating, super jealous or whatever, if you think about it statistically, you don't need to worry, man. It's much more, it's rare. It's not the common thing. All right. So that's number one. All right. Cool. I thought that was a cool stat. Then, apparently, this is the one that caught my attention. Women, the people aged between 18 and 29, in that age category, guess what? Women cheat more than men. Uh-huh. Yeah, supposedly. I forgot the stat on that one. But this just burned into my brain, right? These 4 or 5 facts. I didn't write this shit down. This is all in my head now. Not because I want to use it in an argument in the future, but just because it really blew my mind, and it's like just burned into my memory forever. If I ever get amnesia or Alzheimer's, these stats will still come through. I'll be like walking around, like, what's your name? I don't know, but 20% of men cheat versus 13% women who cheat. But in the age category of 18-29, women cheat more. Can you believe that? Can you? Okay, so that's what I'm going to say to people. But that stat changes again. All right, I'll admit the stat isn't very different. Like in that category of 18 to 29, it's like a 1 or 2% difference if I remember correctly. Then you go into the 30 to 34, men come out on top again, and then it's kind of like the men until it's women in their 60s. All right, and then 16%. That's the highest percentage of women cheating in their 60s. 16%. That's higher than their overall figure. All right, they cheat more than men. And then men in their 70s go like that's their highest at 26%, right? So their overall average is 20. In their 70s, it's 26%. So almost 3 out of 10 men cheating. And then 80 and older, that also stays high, man, for some reason. 24%. All right. I hope these stats may make sense to you, but there are a couple of things that just baffled me about these stats. All right. Firstly, why are these old people cheating? Why are the stats so higher in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s? That's crazy, right? Are you guys thinking, you know what that means? One of us in a group of 10, one of our grandparents are cheating, right? They're getting it on and they're cheating. They're getting it on with someone else, okay? It's a little hard to believe. Who are these people crawling out in their 80s to like cheat on their spouse? Like just going, is it really cheating? Maybe they just forgot who their spouse is. Maybe they can't make it back home and they're like, you know what? This is the closest house. I'm just going to knock and sleep with the person. Whoever opens the door, I'm in, man. Like, is this, I'm also interested, is this post the Viagra era, or was it true pre-Viagra era as well? Like, what's the deal with this, man? I'm just shocked. I'm just looking at old people with a lot of respect. You just imagine older people as always like, okay, they're done with the sex stuff. They're just going to stay home. They're going to be good people. They're going to knit sweaters and they're going to play with the grandkids. Turns out that's not the case, man. They're getting it on. And they're not just getting it on. They're getting it on with strangers and stuff. That to me is incredible. All right? That's so cool. The other thing that I think is very important, and this might upset a few people, but I think, all right, when I look at the fact that it's women cheating more between the age of 18 and 29, I think that plays a big impact. Because I do know, psychologically speaking, there's a big impact on people when they've been cheated on, all right? So, all these guys who got cheated on in that young age probably went out and went, you know what, I'm not going to be faithful again. And then, so they cheated. They decided to cheat more. Or they, you know, that whole thing about men going, you know, well, I'm never going to be faithful and I'm just going to sleep around with women. All right, I'm making that up because it's probably not true. The reason it's not true, why am I destroying my own argument? But I think the reason it's not true is because there's no stat I know. It may be true, but I don't have the correct stat of like this. I wonder if someone's done research on this. I forgot to check. If you've been cheated on, does that make you more inclined to cheat on someone? Oh, That would make for an interesting stat. I'd like to know that one. But until then, we're just gonna have to assume that that is the case. There are a lot of broken-hearted men who decide to cheat on other women. Okay, or we come to the conclusion that some people are just terrible people, regardless of age, gender, nationality, ethnicity, whatever. All right? There's some bad people out there and they'll do bad things. Maybe it's the impact of how they grew up. All right? I'm sure that plays into it somewhat. When I see people break in line, I get angry. Okay? I get really, really angry. But a part of me also gets that these people are coming from places where you didn't want to give anyone an inch because it meant the difference between survival and dying. All right. So maybe not to that extreme, but constantly being pushed to that where you get left behind majorly if you give an inch. And so they have this anxiety and need to push forward. You know, like those guys, you ever see men who like really put their arms out and like like that bodybuilder walk. You guys know what I'm talking about. Arms wide away from the body and just kind of like chest up and arms just kind of rocking in a certain way. You know what I'm talking about. You're picturing it, right? So that thing, I look at it and I go, why is that person walking like that? Why do they need to walk like that? I don't believe it's natural. I don't believe it's because they've done a bit of bodybuilding. Sometimes I see guys doing it without really being bodybuilders or anything. And I look at it and I go, nah, it's just them trying to impose some, they think that's the way they're going to get ahead. And in some places it works. All right. And so that behavior has been solidified. It's been ingrained. It's been encouraged. So what's my point? My point is this cheating must have come from somewhere, right? So I don't know. I'm not justifying any cheating. I think cheating is terrible. Little secret. It's not a secret. I've been cheated on, and I think it was when you're younger. It's like one of the worst thing that you go through because you feel worthless, and you feel like an idiot. And you feel cheated on, right? And I was a softie, so I kind of went to my room and cried for days and stuff and felt heartbroken and the whole shebang of like I'll never find love and I will never trust anyone again and blah blah and blah blah. But time does heal all wounds, man. Even the craziest shit. I've had close people die, and while that doesn't heal, but you kind of you get it's like a scar. It's there, but you move on, right? It's not like a heart attack that's gone on constantly. I don't know, bad example, or a bad knee that just can't be fixed, and so you have to live with arthritis. Yeah, something like that. It's not like that. A lot of our stuff usually does get healed. And so, you just, you grow out of it eventually and you move on, and human beings are much stronger than we think we are. This isn't a motivational talk. I hate when I start doing that. I'm like, I'm not here to motivate you guys. Okay. I'm just trying to state some facts. And if it helps, it helps. I don't want to turn into some kind of, life coach and stuff. Okay. So my point is that everyone gets, like, people do get cheated on, all right? And there's no it doesn't mean you won't find love. So stop being over dramatic. I did, and I'm not using myself as just an example. I just think it's the way the world works. So these two things really stood out for me. And so I guess people who have been cheated on or who've been wronged in some way, I know it's hard, man, but just get over it. Like after a while, like get over it. Even if you don't get over it completely, like you gotta stop like lingering on it. Like it's gotta not be your focal point anymore, right? Don't expend your energy on it is what I'm saying. All right, get on and move forward, and things will be great in the future. All right, it's a promise. But you gotta stop. You gotta stop crying, man. Like I did. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. So now you know the stats. Now you know the truth. I know your own perceptions or your own experiences will affect how you still see things, but that's the math, man. Even if it's a little slightly off, it's still, that's what it is. So there you go. Next time you want to fight with someone and say all women do this or all men do that, just look up some stat. I think that'll really impress everybody. Speaking of cheating, it reminds me of this story with one of my uncles, my mom's brother. Yeah, there was this Bollywood movie, and this is one of the reasons I don't recommend movies easily to people, or at least, I don't know, it left an impact on me. So there was this Bollywood film that came out called Masti, which I guess it translates to naughtiness or, yeah, like having fun, but like a little cheeky fun, something like that, right? And I watched it first with my younger brother and a couple of friends, and we howled with laughter. All right, we just had such a laugh. We loved the movie. We were hysterical, right? And so my uncle's like flying through, visiting, and I'm like, hey, you gotta watch this. We love talking movies. I'm like, you gotta watch this one. So funny, so funny. And I put it on for him, and I realized as we were watching that the humor was very adult natured, right? Like really R-rated stuff. Not in terms of the scenery, but the jokes. And we both grew very quickly uncomfortable. All right. So in our culture, it's not cool. And so eventually he kind of went, hey, you know what? I don't think this is as funny. Let's watch something else. And he put me out of my misery. But I was just shocked. I was like, I had a complete different perception of this thing going on when I went to watch this and with my friends. And now I'm realizing, I'm like, oh my God, it's smut. So, because it was all about cheating as well, right? Like these guys wanting to cheat on their wives and so that's why I remember this film, because I've been talking about cheating. So yeah, that story comes to mind. Anyway, listen, we've got to really quickly. I gotta add this. My friend Majid, he's here to give you the self-care tip of the episode. Majid, over to you. Thank you, Salman. Thank you very much. Boys and girls, today's top tip is about for you to be happy for somebody else. Okay, this is a big problem with the men especially. All right, you see a beautiful woman, you see an ugly guy, you look at him and you go, oh my God, why is this beautiful girl with him? Why not with me? So this is a big problem you guys have. On the World Mental Health Day, we are being taking care of our brains by taking all this negative energy and taking it off us, right? Like you are taking off your clothes, you are taking off the negative energy and putting it off and enjoying your life more, man. So you're learning to be happy with each other and being happy for the other person. Amazing insight from my side. Be happy. I'm happy for you. Thanks, Majid. Yeah, I guess that was very insightful. Yeah, it is. It was just a World Mental Health Day. I think I spoke about it at the beginning of the episode as well. Take care of yourselves. It's important. Don't burn yourself out. If you need someone, reach out. Talk about it. All right, that's very important. And we're a lot more open about this stuff in this day and age. So it's good. Cool. All right, guys, this has been fun. Like always, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, give it a share. Leave a rating on it. It goes a long way, especially on Apple Podcasts if you can. It goes a long way in helping the show out. And leave me some comments and suggestions on the bits that you guys like listening to more. Until then, take care. Goodbye. Or as a dog would say, woof.